Welcome back, guys, to Remax episode 11, part 2. And this is the beauty of being a host, where you have to make magic happen with the overlays. And just, I had a little chat with Destiny during the ad break because I was. So actually, I'll be showing it on stream, but what happened was. Alright, let me fix that. So what happened was, on the Indiegogo page, he said any funds that will be raised extra will go to the next tournament. And so he raised an extra 400, but he also doesn't specify if he gets sponsorship money, what it will go towards. So there's like a small little loophole there.
So he was just very vague.
Yes.
He was like, any extra funds, and then people, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's not as bad when you say like black and white. Any money that is left over is going to the next tournament, and then you just go, well, I'm gonna keep it. That's a lot worse than saying what he initially put.
Yeah, for sure. So we're gonna go with the list of topics. So we had there's a new Chinese tournament. Chris, did you notice this Chinese tournament? It kind of came out of nowhere. It's in the notes, by the way. Do you have?
Yeah, I have no idea what the hell this is.
Can you? Oh, the life. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, what this cup is a Chinese cup that recently just came out of nowhere, and it's to help the Chinese players bridge the gap between Korean players, Chinese players. It's a daily cup of $50, but there's about like 20 Kespa players in it every day, and there was a Chinese player that that specific day Base Trade was casting because they can't cast every day because they have their own tournament going on. So XY went ham on the Koreans, winning a lot of games. Have you played XY before, Chris?
I don't think so. But to comment on the thing, I only know a bit of this tournament because all the funny pictures that were released.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw them, but
yes, I'll try my best to get the overlays sorted so I can show them.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's really cool that China seems so committed. I don't know. I always view China as not being that into StarCraft 2, but the more and more, especially the later part of StarCraft 2, I guess, compared to earlier, like Taiwan and China are kind of like doing a lot for the StarCraft 2 scene, not just like this small tournament, which is kind of rare nowadays, but also the Yoey Flash was picking up a lot of Korean players and Chinese players and paying them decently, getting them to a lot of foreign tournaments, and I don't know, just throwing a lot of tournaments, even if they're kind of sketchy. I don't know, China always, to me, all their tournaments kind of have like this level of sketchiness where you're like not really sure if they're gonna pay out or if they're gonna show up to pick you up from the airport or something like that. But
is it that bad?
Well, yes and no. Like, usually the way I view it is either it's a grand slam and they pay you in fucking cash like Jadong did and like our Dodo team did for that Chinese tournament, and Snoop, like, literally they just gave them fucking, what was like $24,000 in cash or something like that to Jadong in Chinese money, and our Dodo 2 team for EG also got paid in cash. So on the one hand, you have like a sick, good, like the dream for a player way to get paid, and they take care of you, and it's a really nice hotel. And then sometimes the Chinese tournaments are like you're not really sure how it's gonna go. I'm just glad that a lot of the Chinese players are trying to step up, and there's a daily cup in Asia again.
Yeah, I mean the Neo TV for the Chinese numbers, they're always crazy when there's really big tournaments going on. I think it was IEM. It's IEM Toronto. There was a lot of viewers and so on. Have you ever played in China, Jeff?
In China, no.
No,
Played
never
basketball there. Nope.
Okay.
I did a basketball tournament there.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah.
A guy like you plays basketball?
I did back in the day. It's one of the most random things ever. I was terrible.
Go to China. I love how you go to China and then you're just like, yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah.
I was. One of my friends got injured on the select team, and they're all friends with me, so they're like, you want to go? And I was like, sure. I played basketball. I wasn't very good, and I fouled out of every single game.
The best way. I'm horrible at basketball too. So.
Just to rectify before like the Destiny fans go ham. So the Indiegogo said extra money raised from the Indiegogo. All right, we can move forward now. I hope everyone's happy. So going next. So we had XY do really well, and what else did we have? We had Vortex make a comeback. That's actually very exciting, because you know anytime foreigner beats Korean, everyone opens up a beer and celebrates.
We're talking about the European IEM.
Yes, the IEM qualifier for San Jose. So
Because you kind of segue from the Chinese tournament to
yes.
the okay. Vortex did really well.
About it.
yes. So we had Vortex go on a rampage and take out Happy, Snoot, Saskry, and then First. So I guess beating 2 Koreans, going 8-0 to qualify for IEM San Jose. And he was inactive a little bit. I think I saw him like play Heroes of the Storm a bunch also on Twitter. What are your thoughts, Chris?
Him and Lucifron have been playing Heroes a lot. I don't know. I'm always the critic of. I don't know. It's just he did it. He played what 4 ZVZs, 3 ZVZs, and crushed. So if I was looking at this, I'd be like, damn, Vortex's ZVZ is insanely good. And then he beat First, which is still very, very good, but I don't know. I'm happy for him, and it's nice to have a foreigner actually winning a spot in these tournaments where it's usually dominated by Koreans. I know for the U.S. one, for San Jose, it's going to be, I think the top, I mean, like me and you, desRow, we were automatically going to assume like Violet, Pulp. They're going to be like 2 of the biggest opponents.
Hell no! Oh, yes, of course. I thought you meant like that they were going to qualify. I'm like, no, man. We're going to stop them.
Well, cross those fingers, desRow, but it's cool. I mean,
Yes.
I would be more impressed if he like beat 4GG2 at the end or had to play another ZVZ non-ZVZ Korean.
Okay. Yeah,
But,
that makes sense.
Still impressive.
Yes, of course. And then the second person to qualify was 4GG. So we'll move on to, and by the way, guys, before we get through these and get to your questions, get on Twitter, ask us your question, use the hashtag SC2Remax, and I see so many people use the hashtag Remax, and then I tried to find the StarCraft tweets, but it's all real estate bullshit. So please put SC2Remax is the hashtag, please. So next we have, and this is pretty funny, and this is so, I don't want to fuck it up, okay? This is Polt on the front page of Worldstar Hip Hop, and the comments are hilarious. If you want to have a good laugh, just, you know, go and have some fun. Just very light-hearted. What are your thoughts, Chris, on this wonderful piece of content on this wonderful website?
I actually go to Worldstar a decent amount. I like watching the fight videos. I guess it's like a guilty pleasure of mine or something. I watch the fight videos, which are, I always have to turn down in volume very much because it's very obnoxious and very loud. But I like watching them. I don't know. I find it entertaining. And then they have good Vine compilations, which I gotta kind of be careful about watching because usually the first like 5 or 6 videos are like twerking. And very scandalous twerking at that. Yeah. So it's like you got one earpiece out and you're like, fuck, man, it's someone gonna open this door. But a lot of them are funny. So those are pretty much the 2 biggest reasons I go to Worldstar. But overall, the website's pretty trashy. I would say it's like one of the trashiest websites there are. But I enjoy it for some reason. And it's really cool that it's kind of like, I don't know, like like a success point that a video from esports would make it on Worldstar, I guess. So I guess it's kind of cool, and the comments themselves are always hilarious. I usually just browse through it and see, like, they have a lot of good Drake jokes usually. Like, Drake be the kind of N-word that would blankety blank, and it's usually something very polite and nice. But
yes.
I think it's pretty humorous.
Do you think we've made it now that we're on that website?
No. That's nothing. It's
No.
Well, I mean, Polt is a good example to be flashy when it comes to making a living out of StarCraft. You know, he has it pretty good. Because there's like a big gap for those that don't know that are watching the stream. There's like Polt at like 100K a year, and then there's HuK, and then there's me. So there's like, to give you guys an idea of the you don't seem too pleased.
Huh? No, I'm fine. It's
Okay. Yes. So that's usually how it goes. If we go back 2 years earlier, then HuK would be up there with Polt. But yeah, different times, different budgets. So up next we have HotBid leaves Team Liquid, and Jeff, I expect you to say a lot about your good friend HotBid here.
Yeah, he actually told me about this a few weeks ago, it was very shocking because he's been there for a long time. Moved to New York. Well, I think he's already from New York, but he lived in New York in the TL offices there. And then they went to the Netherlands, and he moved his entire life over there for a couple of years. Been traveling, been working on this. They've been growing it. It's super successful. Like every time I think the dumbest thing about Team Liquid is that they don't just constantly put on more merchandise, because every time they do, they sell all of it for really expensive cost to everyone. They're doing gangbusters there. They've had a successful Dota team, RIP, and you know, they have a successful StarCraft 2 team. So they're only on the up and up. They're rising up in fame and popularity. So I'd imagine his role is becoming more exciting and awesome. And then he up and announces that he's done. And there's no drama, there's no salt that I could see or hear about. It's mostly just you know when someone, like, they can be successful in something, but they truly have a calling in something else. He is truly excited about Esports Express, and he really enjoys that from what I can tell. So he wants to see if he can rise that up, and why not? This is a young guy that out of law school was a part of Team Liquid growing and getting big. So he doesn't really, I don't think he knows what it's like to fail, at least not on something on this scale. So he's going to try to make it into the next, you know, TMZ, or, well, not TMZ. I guess the Onion would be the best model for what he wants to do. He wants to have, he's talked about making it into reporting on real sports and just the world in general. So they'll probably have to change the name from Esports Express, or I don't know, just that'll be another joke that they have. But I'm excited for him. I'm not worried for Team Liquid at all. They're kind of a self-made money-making machine of awesome. I've got 25,000 posts on that website or something like that, but in the last year or two, I've probably had 100. So I'm not personally invested in like the forum aspect of what they do, but as far as news reporting and churning out content and product, they're great.
What about you, Chris? HotBid, you and HotBid, the legendary interviews, man.
Yeah, well, me and HotBid in general have been pretty close. I think I was like one of the first interviews he did when I first joined Team Liquid. I went to New York for IEM tournament way back when and hung out with him in New York, and we've been pretty good friends ever since. He approached me a few weeks ago as well, and everything Jeff said. I think also there's a lot of reasons that went into his decision. I think he didn't enjoy living in Europe so much. He wants to be closer to his family. He misses the US, misses like New York, living here. He actually lives pretty close to where I live now in New York, maybe like 20-30 minutes away, so we plan to hang out a decent amount. Other than that, yeah, I think HotBid's like a really good creative guy. He's really funny. He gets a lot of inside jokes, and he can create that kind of creative content that always comes out. If there's anything drama-wise that's going to happen in esports, it's very easy for him to think about it, make up a really good satire article, and just, it's going to be fucking hilarious. Whether it be about LoL, Dota, StarCraft 2, personalities, whatever. So I think it's going to be really successful. And then, I don't know, it's sad for TL, but at the same time, TL always has this like huge base of really talented people, really hardworking. Most of the time are going to be volunteering, and then it's just going to mean that one of the people are going to get paid more, or
They're gonna get promoted,
or they're going to get paid, period. And I think TL, like, they're going to be fine. It's just, I think it's fine for TL, and it's really good for HotBid, and I'm just happy to see him pursuing his dream.
Have you seen the Shadow of Mordor game on Twitch?
Yes.
Yeah, what you were talking about, it just made me think of like HotBid dying, and then you have like another grunt getting like up a rank. And yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Great insight, desRow. Thank you for your thoughts. All right.
Alright. No, but it's true. There's a lot of people at Team Liquid.
I have a quick question though. Like,
Yes.
how do you guys feel about kind of like HotBid? He's gonna be going more full time into like Esports Express and everything. But to me, Esports Express has been like really good in kind of how often we see the content. I'm a little bit worried because like he's saying he's gonna go like full time. He's gonna be investing a lot more energy into it. I guess that means more articles. So is there a point where like you kind of hit oversaturation? Like he's putting out too much stuff? Like
I definitely thought about this as well because he's basing his articles on things that happen, like Thorin making really bad comments about Poland, or LCS team going to train in Korea and then bombing out of the LCS. And those are all based on external factors. You know, you can't create that kind of drama or, you know, that. So I'm really not sure how he's going about it. I haven't really asked him about it. It's going to be interesting to see. Maybe it just means he'll get into more games. I know they haven't really touched CSGO that much. So they could maybe get into CSGO or something else, or get into more games. I don't know, like Jeff said too, he was thinking about getting into sports. I know he mentioned to me maybe he would do like movie critics, anything. I think just in general, he can make a lot of content from whatever he wants. So maybe that just means he'll be branching out to other things.
Maybe
it's true.
Yeah, maybe we'll be speculating here, but you know, OnGamers died by getting banned on Reddit, or almost died, or is dying. What about like how sustainable is a website like this for someone like HotBid? Like, do you have one staff? Do you have two staffs? Obviously, he has volunteers, but like,
right now,
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Right now, as far as I know, they're like, what would you visitor numbers are really good. If you think about every time they make an article, I know for SC Reddit, it's always like right up there at the top. Whenever it's for LOL, it's right there at the top. So right now, he has like a really good image for the site, and him leaving TL. And once again, like some people didn't know that he was behind Essex, but now people know, I guess. Like, he's just going to be even more unbiased now, you know? Like, so he can start going ham on Liquid. He has no allegiances, and it's like a really strong market right now because people always talk about how esports doesn't have like enough credible journalists, but he, as far as I know, is the only trashy TMZ-like magazine out there right now, you know? Like, he can really go ham, and he doesn't have to hold like any kind of favors or obligations or favors to anybody. He can just like dig up the dirt, where like a lot of journalists, whether we like to admit it or not, you know, can't really shit where they eat. You know, they gotta not piss off too many people, or you know, they just won't get interviews, won't get whatever they content pieces that they need.
Any final thoughts, Jeff?
Just wish them the best, but you know, on that subject, it's funny because the ad block situation is actually even worse for websites like that. It's uniquely the worst time to get into that kind of monetization. A lot of the websites that do articles are talking about how, with the increasing ad blocking, and that like really hits in on their ability to function financially. So, but that being said, I personally have never ran a website like that. I don't work with anyone that has. So this is all like articles I've read and stuff that's being reported. But maybe HotBid's sitting behind his like, you know, monocle and top hat, and he's just like counting the bajillions of esports dollars flowing into his bank account. So I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be great for him. He's a great guy. That's the last thing we're gonna talk about is the.
Do we talk about at all the fact that he has a Kickstarter going?
Yeah, no, it's not. Is it started yet?
Or I think he said, like, to me that's kind of like a really interesting thing.
It's not announced yet, but yeah, he is going to be doing a Kickstarter.
Well, it's in the thread.
That's interesting conversation. That's
that's
like him personally saying, "Hey, this has been a huge success. It's been great. Here's my Kickstarter," and from that, he's going to pay himself, which is like, I'll be very interested to see the reply to that because I haven't seen it like in esports. We haven't had any Kickstarters really fail. They've all done really well or exceeded, but
well, there was actually no wait, Jeff. There was one. Chobo Peon said, "I'm gonna be like we need like good esports journalism."
Yeah.
And the only one I can think of that's failed is an esports journalism one.
There was a Lone Star Clash too. Didn't do so well.
I think you'll do fine because I think it'd be hard for the StarCraft 2 scene to get a lot of money from us just because we've had so many bad examples of that, like Sons of StarCraft, where people have thrown money into something and it hasn't really done well. If you look at Medell's last Indiegogo or whatever, people didn't really contribute that much to it. But you got to remember, he's going to be doing this over many games. He'll definitely do it. Like there'll be a Reddit thread for LoL. There'll be a Reddit thread for StarCraft 2. There'll be one for Dota 2. And I think those scenes they're going to contribute a lot more than the StarCraft 2 scene.
That's scary though, right? Like because you have to think about it like this, right? If he feels like he needs a Kickstarter, that's implying that as of right now, the content that he's putting out right now is not self-sustaining enough. It wouldn't be able to support him just on that alone. So he needs more revenue. Obviously, he's going to be producing more content and probably branching out to more games. But from like a Reddit side, and like desRow, you may even be able to speak to this like more also. Submitting your stuff to Reddit, that's like a really scary thing because again, it's like the whole on-gamers thing. If you get blackbarred from Reddit because you're submitting stuff to like so many different places, etc., like you're constantly doing that. If you, or even heck, like not even Reddit bans you, if people just get tired of like, oh, it's another Esports Express article, it's not making it to the top anymore because there's more stuff, right? Like that's definitely a thing that happens. Yeah. Then what happens? Like, well, does he suddenly not start making enough?
I mean, he's a resourceful guy. If it's not sustainable, he'll cut back or do something else. But yeah, no, for the Kickstarter, he said he was gonna split those into StarCraft, one for StarCraft, one for Dota. So I guess, if the Dota one is more successful, maybe he'll hire someone else to work with him for the Dota things, or he'll be focusing more on Dota. Yeah, okay, Chris, nice feedback. Like, anyway, so moving on to the WECG South Korea qualifier. And I told you Sora was gonna do well, Chris. Fuck you about that.
Good job. Good prediction. Congratulations.
So we had the semifinals yesterday, and then we had the finals and the third place match today. And the moral of the story here is TY doesn't know how to TVP, loses 0-6 to Protosses, and then we have Stats just beating Eero 3-2, very close game. Apparently the game 5 was very anticlimactic. Didn't look at the games, did you, Chris?
I was watching them during the show, actually.
What? So we have Nathanius playing Hearthstone, and then we have you fucking watching VODs?
Multitasking.
You know, Nathanius.
I'm a multitask boy. I'm a StarCraft player.
So Nathanius has been on 3 times, and he played 2 times Hearthstone, and the only time he wasn't playing Hearthstone, he's like, man, today felt like it was very long. So like, yeah, fucking no shit, motherfucker.
Yeah, I watched the games. They were a lot of the PvPs were pretty like. PvPs are fucking boring, even for me to watch. I don't know how to get around that.
Really?
I hate it, man. I can't stand it. A lot of it's build orders. You get like an advantage. There's a lot of feel to it. I just don't find it as technical. Like TVT, I enjoy watching TVT, especially if it's like mech versus bio or mech versus mech. I find it really interesting. Not lately with all the Doom drops and shit, but there were some interesting things. There was like one game, someone went Phoenixes on Nimbus and had an advantage versus a Robo Expo opener, but then Stats proxy 2 Stargates at like another of the main bases on Nimbus, and there's like this, but it's like, nah, I don't know, I just don't find it that interesting. So I don't know what to tell you. TY losing, I think it's more of like he always goes the same style, which is like sprinkled in factory units, whether it be like Hellion drops or mines or tanks with like the tank bio push or whatever. And a lot of the Protosses just kind of mind gained him. I know a lot of them went like Oracle versus him and stuff like that and got like really sick advantage off of that. And then TY could never really do the pulp, mass bio, drop, brass, or anything like that. And he was just always on the defensive.
Okay.
More interesting though is WECG gonna do tournaments for other countries? If this is supposed to be when are those other tournaments? Because when I look at this tournament, not only is it like sick that they qualify, but the qualifying tournament itself, there's like, what was it? It's like 4K for first or something. I can't remember how much it was.
Oh, so you're excited, eh?
I'm excited if they're gonna do similar qualifiers. Like, can you imagine a Canada tournament where if you qualify, you win $5,600 as well as qualify for the main tournament, or US or whatever? That's pretty sick. So
Yeah.
I'm just excited for, because right now all I see on the Wikipedia is Korea and Japan qualifier.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no products in Japan. They don't like lasers. It's only Zerg's intern. But I think that wraps up everything we wanted to talk about. It comes down to you guys to make us talk. You can ask your question using the hashtag SC2Remax on Twitter, and we'll also be taking a look at the questions on Reddit. So we'll start with Reddit just in just a second here. Viewer questions, and yeah, we'll be going on for another 18 minutes, and then we'll wrap up. Let me get to the thread. I should have started while you were talking and eating. What are you eating, Chris? Tell us.
Carrot.
Carrots with what? What kind of dipping?
I'm on a fucking diet, boy. There ain't no
Bikini
dipping.
lifestyle,
This
desRow.
is fucking
No
air
sauce.
dipping.
Wait, you have no dipping? Jesus, man. All right.
Maybe hummus though, Chris. You gotta step up your game. Hummus tastes pretty good and is healthy for you.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
Really?
delicious.
I'll look into it.
And I'm so happy to have this question because Jeff's on the show. With Region Lock coming up, do you think we'll see more team leagues? Team leagues were my favorite events to watch, and I would like to see them regain popularity and NA. Jeff.
What I can tell you is from on my personal side of things, EG has ran team leagues in the past, and as Heart of the Swarm kind of unfurled and went on, the excitement of like Dota and LoL and other games kind of grabbed the attention of EG, so we haven't done them. My hope is I will continue to lobby for these things, and as Legacy of the Void comes up, that hype and that excitement and hopefully that Blizzard support will result in EG once again hosting one of those, because it's absolutely fucking awesome. With region locking, there's more of a chance of kind of, in many ways, more interesting teams and more regional teams, perhaps. So I'm excited about it on that side of things. As far as will region locking / WCS bring about more team leagues, I don't know. I don't know if there's any direct correlation there.
There should, man. Like, with region locking, I'm expecting so many more teams to get into StarCraft. And so if you have more teams, then you have more opportunity for team leagues. But then again, you need, like, at least 3 players per team to have a decent team league.
We're
Right?
talking about, like,
You need,
North
like, 5.
American. We're
Yeah.
talking about, like, North American team leagues, though, right? Like, so I would say I actually have a lot of experience with, like, North American team leagues, and, like, because really it's like the big North American teams, Evil Geniuses, it used to be Team Liquid, not so much anymore, like Root and I guess IVD Gaming. So those are like the 3 that people know about, but then like everything else that would be in like a North American team league are like all semi-pro teams. So I've seen like a lot of North American team leagues, but usually I will say I've had the opportunity to cast a lot of them. They end up dying out because they're completely 100% run on volunteers, and people get really tired of how much work it is to run those things. Like, every single one, it's so hard.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's a lot of teams, and it's a lot of divisions, and it takes a lot of work, and there's not a lot of viewers when you come down to, like, semi-pro to pro teams. You know, like, I mean, pro teams in NA, you'd consider Root and, you know, IVD, and then that's about the only pro teams you have. Then you have semi-pros like Gravity and Dust and so on. So the market right now is pretty small. But yeah, Chris, I have any thoughts about team leagues?
Doubtful. Like Jeff said, I don't think there's that much of a correlation as far as just because it's being region locked. Like, when I think region lock, I think a lot of amateur or semi-pro NA players are going to really try to step up their game, and people are hopefully going to practice more and try to, you know, once you have a realistic shot at money. But I don't understand how that would correlate at team leagues that much.
Okay. Yeah. Personally, I think, you know, if we go like in a parallel universe where Blizzard did team leagues instead of WCS, maybe StarCraft would have been more successful. So if we look at Korea, that's how they rocked the boat. If we go back to Pro League and so on, I don't know if you guys have agree or disagree, Jeff.
What's that?
That if Blizzard put all the efforts they did into WCS 2 years ago into team leagues, would StarCraft be more successful?
Team leagues? No, I don't think so. I think that I like the individual league format. It grabs more people. Like,
but what about Root War in Korea and Pro League? You don't think they did it right?
I think that's apples and oranges.
Okay.
Two completely different scenes. A big part of the reason why Brood War did so well in Brood War, in Korea, excuse me, is because there's a big part of the economic. It was a big part of the upstart from the economic recession they experienced, but also they were competing with Warcraft 3 and Counter-Strike 1.6. That's basically it. We live in a day and age right now where far and away more people, no matter what format you're going to run StarCraft in, are going to be more interested in LoL and Dota, not necessarily because of their format, but because of the game format and the style. But also, to give a tip of the hat, Riot's done a great job with LCS, and Valve has done a great job with basically the international. Two big things that have huge outreach. So would a better format have made StarCraft 2 more viewed and reliable? Absolutely. Are they moving in the right direction by region locking, and can that make the discussion more hopeful? Yes, but you were never there's no effect unless we send in secret agent desRow into the offices of Riot to assassinate everyone that was going to work on like the early stages of League of Legends, much like the Terminator storyline. Then no, it was always going to surpass us because it's just a easier, shinier game that more people are interested in playing because it has better return on the short end. And StarCraft 2, I mean, gaming viewership is intrinsically tied to its viewership or its player base. StarCraft 2 is like one of the only games that kind of rocks that boat a little bit.
Also the fact is, as far as speaking as the Brood War days, you got to remember that a lot of the hype there is that all the teams live in this small little country or this small little city that can all travel to the
city
venue.
Within the country, yeah.
Yeah, like we don't have that. If Blizzard was gonna run that, they would have to basically do what LCS is doing, and like we're gonna pay each of your players a salary that they can live off of, and in return we need them to move to Cali, and that's just not possible financially to do right now.
Okay.
So.
You like the LoL, sorry for cutting you off. Yeah, okay, moving on. This is actually, iNcontroL talked a little bit about this earlier. The question is from Meta Stable to Chaos on Reddit. This isn't entirely StarCraft 2 related, but I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts. What are you guys' opinion on the current Twitch TV culture? The culture being streamers putting a huge amount of emphasis on donation and subscriber. I just see so many streamers these days with a scrolling text across the screen with top donations, recent sub, etc. They get all excited over sub hype. Thank you for the donation. It seems like their stream is all about that than actually watching them play the game. I remember when I first started watching Twitch, there were little or none of this going on, and it seems to be a recent phenomenon over the past year or so. Thoughts, Jeff?
So you're just basically asking about kind of the Twitch culture right now?
Yes.
I think this is something you could spend an entire show on talking about, and this is not an escaping answer. I really like the topic. It's like never. It's almost a new age where we were a part of the 2010 when Twitch first arrived. It helped make pro gaming super viable, right? Like Warcraft 3 people, Brood War people. They were coming in and they were getting signed to big contracts for StarCraft 2. They were moving places. They were traveling the world. It was making pro gaming much more viable, whereas everything before that, there were people that did do pro gaming, but like on a limited basis, or there was few and far between. They were Koreans or they were Chinese Warcraft 3 players, etc. So this is kind of that next step where all of a sudden, I just went to a convention, SOE Live in Las Vegas, where I'm talking to a guy who sat down and started streaming. People liked that he got scared. They liked that he freaked out. And his name's CoCarnage, and now he makes, six-figure salary just playing games every single day. We live in a day and age where PewDiePie, a Swedish YouTuber who screams like a girl and doesn't give a shit and just says random stuff into a webcam, is the most viewed person on all of YouTube. It's a gamer. It's a gamer that does Wii plays, basically. So we live in a day and age where that's so far and away possible. So you're getting this interesting meld of people that are like, well, I really like games. I can make my life out of this. And then there's different schools of thought on how to go about that. There is the streams we talked about, which is like, not to name names, but like, we'll call him girl gaming. Girl versus gaming. Well, God damn it. I can't
Man
make this
versus
analogy.
game?
What? No, not him. Anyways, someone like that with a different name. When you watch their stream, it's like, constant shout-outs like, thank you for subscribing, thank you for subscribing, thank you for that donation, thank you for subscribing. Oh, look, 10 more people followed. Thank you for subscribing, thank you for subscribing. Game. Ah, fuck. Thank you for subscribing, thank you for subscribing, thank you for subscribing. And it's just the whole time. And it's because it's their success. And it's amazing and it's awesome. And a lot of people really like that. And they have this built-in community. And that's not to be knocked. It's really cool. Good for them, you know. But for me as a viewer, like, it's different. So this is a kind of a wishy-washy answer, and that's why I'm saying there's no way to answer this in such a short time. You can tell I have a lot to say about it. But the TLDR, I guess, is more than ever right now, it's giving opportunities to people. Stamp of approval. Fucking awesome. Twitch has several policies that people don't like. They're uncomfortable with it. There's all this drama. Okay, but keep a cool head about it because Twitch has opened up doors for people that otherwise would never have been open. Stamp of approval. Awesome. And then the third one is know that you are unique and different. Girl versus game. I don't, you know, and the joke's dead. I am talking about man versus game. Anyways, like that style of stream is not for me, but it's for so many other people, and I can respect that. And when I turn on someone's stream like, you know, a HuK or desRow, there's commentary. There is some mention of subs and that kind of stuff, and I really enjoy it. There's high-level play. That's what I'm there for. But I don't need to tell other people that's the best and go fuck yourselves. Everything else is wrong because that's what I like. Twitch is the new TV, and it's opening up opportunities for gamers, so I'm trying to be more accepting. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Chris, anything?
Yeah, I agree with what Jeff said. Biggest thing is just you vote with who you like. Like, if you don't like those people who do all that shit, then don't sub to them, don't donate, don't watch, etc. But people do like that, so they do all that. The donations and subs became such a big factor after commercials were worth nothing. Once commercials started not being a main source of income, like once it hit, like I remember I was there when you made a lot of money from commercials, and at that time I could care less about donations and subs. Like, you don't have to sub to me, you don't have to donate, just let me run a decent amount of commercials in between games when not much is going on, and I'm happy. But as soon as the ad revenue went really down and you weren't making enough money from that, you gotta understand, especially for someone like me, like that's a main source of income for me. Even if it's really low, that's still money that I need to make every month. And a lot of people feel like that. And for a lot of people that are trying to make it, that's where 90% of their income comes from. It's from subs and donations, not from ad revenue. So it's just, if you think they're overdoing it, just don't sub to them, don't watch them, and don't donate.
Right.
But it's part of the community now, and I don't think it's gonna go anywhere anytime soon.
To put a little bit of a perspective on it, because I was making a decent amount of money. That's how I sent myself to Korea with ad revenue. Back then, you know, iNcontroL, HuK, they had insanely more amount of viewers than I had. But with my 500 viewers, I could get about 1,000 a month just from ad revenue. You know, that's really good. And then I went from that same average to $300 a month. So it kind of, you know, shows you. And it took me a while to get over the fact that ad revenue was not my main source of revenue. I had to, you know, plug the subs, plug the donations, and it's something really, it still bothers me today. You know, if I could trade all the donations, and I'm really grateful for the donations I get, but if I could trade the donations for the ad revenue, where there's like no string attached besides you not turning on ad block, I kind of would. But it's a different culture, different times, and Control said it, 2014 versus 2010, two different eras, totally. Okay. So some people wanted to call in. I know Nathanius and Winter showed interest in chat, but HuK has to go and Control has to go. I don't want to go too overboard. We'll try to take another question so I don't feel like a jerk for the people that took the time to write to us on Reddit. Okay, so we'll finish with that, and it's actually a pretty good question because I know iNcontroL had you know that thing in your leg. I forgot the name.
Blood clot.
Yeah, blood clot. So my question would be, how much you guys value a healthy lifestyle and a good mindset? As a follow-up, is there a market for a good mindset coach in esports? I work in this field and I'm thinking about making some step into esports. I would need 2.5 pros to give me feedback for my online coaching. Of course, free coaching. Okay, so nice for the advertising. Anyway, Chris, healthy mindset, good mindset. You know, I know you were drinking a lot of sodas. Sometimes you don't drink sodas. What's your...
I definitely think being healthy as a pro gamer will help you be a better player, period. As far as keeping like a regular sleep schedule, exercising, I mean, just in general for everyday happiness. I personally will not play as good if I'm like fucking frustrated or aggravated or angry or for whatever reason outside of StarCraft 2 and then I play StarCraft 2. You'll tilt a lot easier. You won't have as much energy. You can't play as long, etc. One of the biggest examples of this is Violet. Violet was a really good player back in the day. Then he was like off the map, totally gone, never did anything, and now he's kind of coming back as a stronger player. And he contributes a lot of that to the fact that he is now more healthy than he has been in a really long time. So I definitely think it's a big thing to be physically healthy and eat well, exercise on a semi-regular basis, as hard as that might be for some of us. And then mentally, I don't know. I am a critic on one hand and supportive on another. It just really depends how strong you are personally. I've been in the the EG Liquid House in Korea. Coach Park was showing this fucking video. I don't know what the fuck it's called anymore. I don't know if I told any of you guys here. He was showing this like very shitty motivational video that was obviously total shit. Completely just, I don't know, bullshit. I'll try to remember what the video is.
Is it like cult or?
Yeah, it was like an infomercial you would see at 5 a.m. that like positive thoughts will reap you benefits. If you think about that bill you have, then you're gonna have a bad day. But if you think about success, success will come your way. And the whole video was like that. It never got any more specific or in detail than just like that general mindset. And on the one hand, I'm very supportive, like have a positive mindset. Always think about like, okay, how you want to win this game, the strategy you're going to do, the map, picture you winning and having a good mindset is a good thing. But the video was totally bullshit. And as I was watching it, I was like, this is bullshit. I'm not going to watch this because like maybe it'll work on someone that's like a lot younger and a lot more naive, but it was fucking stupid. Yes and no. I would say have a positive mindset. If you're having a lot of mental blocks as far as the game goes, or as an athlete, it's definitely something you could look into and it could help you, but it depends where you are in your life, and I don't know.
Just before I throw it to one of our guests, I mean, it's obvious when Chris said some of us can, exercise or whatever. I see the benefits, whenever I work out, whenever I eat healthy, it's a lot easier. And it's definitely something that you should consider. It's not impossible to improve or be good at the game while eating crap food, but it's like, I feel like if you spend the time maybe to like try to work out at an event and then you go play for a long day, you might feel better and less stressed. So Jeff, I know you had the blood cloth, and I know you were a power lifter before. You still do?
No, not anymore. But I used to be a power lifter.
Okay. What are your thoughts on mindset and exercising and being healthy?
Well, this subject, it's funny to me because you could replace gaming with anything. You could talk about, does eating right, getting enough sleep, and exercising help your chess game? Absolutely it does. Here's why. When you exercise, A, you're relieving stress. B, you feel accomplished. You feel successful just in and of itself. Now getting more specific to gaming, I guess, because that's a terrible analogy anyways. A lot of times one of the biggest things that gamers face is that when they're sitting around playing a computer game all day long and that's their form of socializing, that can be well and good, or it can have a bad day where you're not winning as many games as you thought. You just got knocked out of an online tournament. Your dad calls and it's like, oh, you're still playing that game. Okay, well, like, what are you thinking about next year? And like that seeps into your psyche. But when you exercise, it doesn't necessarily cure all these things, but it gives you an outlet to physically relinquish a lot of the stress that can build up. I know that for a lot of people, when they put in an hour or two at the gym, the rest of that day feels more productive. It lengthens the day because the body feels relieved. It feels like you've already accomplished something, you're doing something. So that's good. And then just giving yourself the proper amount of rest and eating. Not going to say anything super miraculous about this either, but speaking specifically to StarCraft 2, it's a very cerebral game. If your mind's not working really, really well, you're going to have a tough time at it anyways. It's also a game, when you practice, of a marathon. Nobody's like, well, I got my 25 minutes of StarCraft 2 practice in for today. I'm ready for those WCS Grand Finals tomorrow. Nobody says that. They say, I only played 5 hours today in a guilty way. Or they say, I played the prerequisite 9 to 10 hours. That's a marathon of gaming, and it's really, really taxing and tough on you. So if you've added exercise, eating correctly to motivate yourself and fuel yourself, but then you've also gotten the proper amount of sleep, you're going to do that better and more efficiently, which means your practice is going to be a lot better too. So I don't think any of this is particularly super amazing for people, but it's just so important that this continuously gets said out there, because there is this weird prevailing other thought that's like, my dare officer told me that in middle school, and my brother's still a healthy guy, and he's eating Taco Bell every single day. And it's like, yeah, that you'll hear that story, but you'll still do better doing this. And if you're going to try to, play a game like this, these things do contribute to it. And it's everything in balance too. Like, it's not like, well, if exercise is good, how about I practice and exercise for 10 hours a day? It's like, no, that won't necessarily benefit you. Now you're getting to the extremes, but put in an hour or two every day or every other day, and I'm guessing it will actually help you in all aspects of your life, but specifically gaming as well.
And Feardragon, I know you're a programmer, so
Yeah.
it's a lot of sitting.
Yeah, no, my life right now, especially when I was doing like my show and everything, was pretty much go to work for about anywhere between 8 to 12 hours, come home, and then sit on a computer again for another like 5 to 6 hours or something crazy like that. And when you start working out, it's a really weird thing that people don't always, they know it, but they always forget it. But when you work out, you actually get energy. If you're consistently working out, you have more energy. It's kind of what Jeff was talking about. Like, you're able to concentrate a lot better. But I mean, we've talked a lot about actually getting energy for like now, or like, just leading a healthier lifestyle right now. I'm almost more thinking, because one thing that is always perplexing me is how many pro gamers are having so many issues. Like right now, they're like 25, 26. Some are like maybe 27 or 28 or something. And they're having like surgeries done on their wrists and everything. I'm like, you have potentially like 50, 60 years maybe left on your life that you have to like live with these problems. So I think at some point, you're gonna stop being a pro gamer, and you're gonna have to live with kind of like the shitty health style that you kind of put yourself in, because your body doesn't really get a lot better after 25 or like 30 or whatever. It kind of goes downhill. So it's kind of like if you're treating yourself really shitty, and you're like down here rather than up here with like normal people, or I won't say normal people who are exercising and being healthy, then when your 30s are there and you're starting to go downhill, you're going to be a lot lower than everyone else. Is going to be like way up here going down.
Yeah, definitely. It's very important to maintain your body like you would maintain your car, and so on. So that wraps it up for us. What's that laugh, Jeff?
I'm sure with more experience you get better at this, desRow, but it's very obvious when you're the producer and you're doing something else and you're like, yeah. And or maintain your body like a car. Yeah, okay.
No, but it's true. But it's true though. But yeah, no, I agree. You're right. All right, so thank you guys for watching Remax episode 11. We had the most amount of viewers ever, and it's really cool. So we'll do the shoutouts and then we'll call it a day. So Feardragon, what's coming up for you, and where can we find you on Twitter or Twitter stream and stuff?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Feardragon64. I'm going to be doing After Hours Gaming League, Collegiate Star League, Copa America 2015, I think. Still kind of like talking about that a little bit.
Nice.
And breaking out Season 4, probably February or something.
Okay. So up-and-coming players, be on the lookout for that. What about you, Jeff?
Just thanks for having me on, guys. Really enjoyable. Nice show. I love talking StarCraft 2, and I like the fan interaction, people asking questions and stuff like that. And that's that. Of course, as always, if you're interested in supporting me and aren't already, just follow me on Twitter, iNcontroL, and I will probably turn on my stream for a couple hours after this.
Okay. Just now? Or
Yeah.
are you going to take a small break? Do you want me to host you afterwards?
Oh, that'd be nice. Host would be cool. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
All right. Chris, what about you, my man? Oh, by the way, thanks for being late.
Technically, I was on time. I got here at, what was it, 3:58 or something.
Yes.
But yeah, I did, I slept a little too much.
Yes.
That
But,
sleep schedule, man.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm fucking trying. I'm trying to fix it. I woke up early and then just got tricked into a nap that I didn't want to take. Anyways, Twitter right here, so you can follow me on Twitter I won't be streaming tonight probably because I'm playing in this tournament that Rifkin's throwing that started 6 minutes ago. Thanks desRow for running over time. And that's about it. And thank you, Jeff and Fear, for being on the show as well as Rifkin. Really appreciate it. I'm sure our numbers have to do with you guys being on the show, so thank you.
Oh yeah, for sure. Big thanks to everyone for watching. Really appreciate it. You guys talking a lot on chat, leaving questions on Reddit. You know, always seeing feedback and interest is always nice. Big thanks to Nicolas Chaussois. I'll go get his Twitter and put it on in the chat. He's the guy who worked on the logo and the overlays, and he's done a fantastic job. And if you want to grab yourself a shirt over time as you become a bigger fan of the show, feel free to do so. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week with Remax episode 12. And will you be on next week? You're not traveling, Chris, right?
I am traveling. I will be in Taiwan.
Yeah, no, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll see him next week. All right, guys. Thank you
All right.
so much for watching. Have a good week.
Bye-bye.